Hello there, my name is Megan. This is my podcast, Little Fish Stitches. I, in general, like to talk about knitting, occasionally sewing, and a little bit of my daily life. Just want to give you a heads up. I'm flying by the seat of my pants today. I have no show notes. It's been kind of a crazy couple of weeks, which I will get to. Well, not a couple of weeks. It feels like a couple of weeks. It was a long week. But I will get to those details, I guess, in life stuff. So I guess, first of all, announcements. I am working on a giveaway for my 100 YouTube subscribers. Benchmark? Goal? I don't know what to call it. Anyway, I'm on about 2/3 of the way there now, I think. Not maybe just under 2/3. Getting closer to 100 subscribers. So when I get to that 100 subscriber mark, I will be running a giveaway thread in my Ravelry group, which you will need to find if you are interested in winning some of my hand-dyed yarn. So, and possibly a project bag. So yeah, there's that. So if you like watching me and you like the kind of things I show on my podcast and the knit along I'm hosting, like, subscribe, and go join my Ravelry group. Places you can find me. I can be found, of course, on Ravelry. First of all, in my group, which is the Little Fish Stitches podcast group. And I'm on there personally as Little Fish Stitches. And I'm on Facebook as Little Fish Stitches. And I'm on Instagram as Little Fish Stitches. So I'll just put a list off to the side of me here or something. Yes, okay. Next announcement. I am hosting a knit-along for the Campside line of items by designer Alicia Plummer. So if you are interested in knitting either a cardigan, a pullover sweater, or a shawl, I suggest you join my knit-along. I do have a chatter thread up and running for that. There's not a lot of chatter going on right now. I'm a terrible contributor. I'm trying to be better at Ravelry interactions. I'm just not as good as I would like to be quite yet. So I'm working on it, guys. I promise. Now, hang on one moment. Sorry about that. My son is mowing the lawn, so I had to close my window. You probably don't want to hear noisy lawnmower while I'm trying to talk to you. I say far too much. I'm sorry about that. Also, something I did set up this morning is an introduce yourself thread in my Ravelry group. So if you want to get to know me and I would like to get to know you, that's the place you can do it. Yeah. And what else is there? Oh, I'm getting all mixed up. See, I need my show notes, and I really should have written some. Yes, the Campside knit along. There's a hashtag for it. I will put it across the bottom of the screen because I am not remembering it off the top of my head. Wait a minute. I have my show notes notebook. I just haven't written any notes for this episode in it. I think it's hashtag Campside along Cal. There, I got it. So there is that. So I'm working on the Campside pullover. So Campside along Cal. Please join me. I have a few people joining me so far. And I've got a couple people making the pullover and a couple people making the shawl, but nobody so far is making the cardigan as far as I know. Unless I missed something, which is quite possible. So, okay. Alright, that's it for announcements. I have no finished objects this week. If you remember last week, my left shoulder was in quite a bit of pain. So it's not surprising that I don't have any finished objects this week. Not that I was super close on anything anyway, but yeah. So no FOs, bummer. And the only FOs I could even vaguely count are work related, so I guess they don't really count. So, I mean, seriously, I made like 70 medium wraps today, so 70 in one day, woohoo! Sorry, I'm a goofball. Work stuff doesn't count. Work stuff doesn't count, even though I'm sewing. Okay, all right, so works in progress. I have not a lot of works in progress to show you. I did not make any progress on my campsite pullover because I didn't want to be lifting anything of any substance, and that's starting to have some substance since I've made about a third of it now. And so the only things I've worked on this week are very lightweight projects. So first of all, in my Mrs. Brown's bag, I have my sockhead hat. I'm just kind of trucking along on this. It's getting bigger. There it is. I'm not sure how tall I'm going to be making this. It's supposed to be a pretty slouchy kind of hat. I'm not a super slouchy hat kind of person, so I still have quite a bit of my cake left. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I'm in the meantime knitting stockinette in the round, super duper easy and super duper lightweight. So I think I've put a couple inches. I would say about an inch and a half on this week. And then I do have a new cast on, which if you follow me on Facebook, you've seen it a couple of times now. I'm participating in the Harry Potter Yarnaholics knit along, so there's a hashtag for that, HP Yarnaholics Cal. And so I have decided to participate in that. And I'm getting all my doodads that I don't need anymore out of the bag here. And in my Sunshine and Bubblegum Weasley Wizard bag with the lovely golden polka dot lining are my Hermione's. Woo! Lost a ball. Hang on, guys. Okay. Are my Hermione's Everyday Socks. So, seriously, look at that. That's what I've done this week. This is where the majority of my knitting time has been spent. 2 at a time, obviously. And I've got like 3 inches left on the toes, and then or on the foot, and then I can start doing the toe. So, and I'm just right now for this pattern, since I've never made it before, I'm following the pattern exactly. So I've got the modified Eye of Partridge heel, and I did the little short row shaping for the heel, and so this yarn that I am using is the Perfect Stitch Fiber Company. It's got the name of, I will, notes, Megan, use your notes, write notes. Ugh. Might be called Wheezing Wizard, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So I've got my Harry Potter themed bag, my Harry Potter themed pattern, my Harry Potter themed yarn, and this cute little funky stitch marker, progress marker. Is by Simply Serving Handcrafts, I believe is what it's called. It's a little tray of, I think I showed this last week, a little tray of sweets and a little slug, and they're like magical type sweets, and one of the sweets is actually a nose. So if you've ever watched the Harry Potter movies, the Weasley twins, Fred and George, They come up with these crazy candies that make people fake sick to get out of school or whatever. So, out of class. So, that's it for my works in progress. Moving on, I guess, to acquisitions, which there are quite a lot of acquisitions this week, but only one that I actually purchased. So, we'll start with that one. I was highly enabled by lovely Jenny of Lucky Jenny Knits to check out this bag maker, Tracy, of bags she built. And she kept, Jenny on her podcast kept showing a couple different bags. They're one of a kind. They're made with old linen tablecloths, like vintage tablecloths. So you never get the same thing twice. So I went and looked and I saw one that I liked, and so I bought it, and it showed up in my mail yesterday. And there it is. Isn't that cute? I love this flower print and the nice blue zipper, and it's got a good handle on it. I think I might need to move my campsite pullover into this bag, and it's got this nice stripy lining, bags she built label. And in my little bag was, I haven't even taken out of the little baggie yet, is a vintage button progress keeper. So this is a little white flower button, and so that came really quick. I just ordered it later in the week, last week, I think that's right. And she included a very sweet note in this pretty card, and she found me on Instagram and messaged me and asked how I found out about her shop, and I'm like, Jenny's to blame. So yeah. And then my next items that I have now in my possession came from the Slow House Knitters Club Summer Top Knit Along. I won a prize for that. I actually had 3 entries into the slow, not so much me, yeah, into the Slow Bleep Knitters Club. So there were 5 different podcasters hosting this knit along, and they each gave out a prize, so your chances of winning a prize were a lot higher with this one. So Lynn from Sunshine and Bubblegum podcast was the one who drew my name, and I could not be more excited. She's the one who made the Weasley bag that I showed just a minute ago, and I'm trying to there's all sorts of little doodads in here. So first of all, yeah, if I could get my act together, that would be awesome. There's so many doodads in here, Lynn. So first of all is the bag. You guys, the bag is so cute. Oh, is that not adorable or what? It is. I love this print. I've actually been eyeing this fabric online. See, there's our little label, Sunshine and Bubblegum. And been eyeing this fabric online, but I had not gotten around to buying it, so I'm pretty happy that I have a project bag now with this print on it. So it's so cute. So I'm very pleased with that. But that wasn't the only thing that I won. From Teeny Button Studio, hand dyed in New Orleans, Louisiana, on her soft sock base, which is fingering weight, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and the colorway is hurricanes and hand grenades. How fun is that? Look at that cute little fox holding a ball of yarn and some knitting needles. Oh, happy bright colors. These are so me. I love it. So This was the perfect prize for me to win from all, I mean, there were a lot of good prizes. But this one, I'm so glad I won this one. I love it. So there's that. And then she had a bunch of little extras. I'll pick it up later. A bunch of little extras, like little stitch counter, little sheepy stitch marker, and a wooden needle, and a locking stitch marker bangle. These are all from this MC Porter Farms. And a measuring tape. And there was a little set of stitch markers that fell on the floor, and I'll get later. So, and then the third set of items that came was my my Wool Swap Partners package arrived just a few days after I mailed mine out. So hopefully in the very near future, hers will be arriving. Let's see, mine came Saturday, and I sent hers out on Wednesday, so she'll get it soon. But anyway, so she sent me 3 different skeins of sock yarn. The first one is Magic Merino, which I think from the looks of it is a commercial style sock yarn, and it's 80% merino and 20% nylon, and it's in this fun variegated red, pinky, orange color. So these are definitely me colors. I like this one. And then she sent this one from Harmonize Yarns. I've never heard of this dyer, but it's, I'm assuming, an indie dyer, and it looks like it might be self-striping from the way that it is. This fun bright yellow and blue. I really like this, and this is 80% merino, 20% nylon, and the colorway is Abstract. So Harmonize Yarns in the Abstract colorway. That's very fun. And then this one, I think this is my favorite from the batch, and this is from Dingo Dye Works. Oh, that was the only, because my partner's in Australia and Dingo Dye Works is in Australia, and this is one of the podcasters that I watch. But I was like, I'd love to order yarn, but shipping from Australia would be kind of a, I mean, it was expensive for me to send my package to Australia. So getting a package with this in it was pretty nifty. I'm pulling it out of the package. Sorry about that. And this is the Flamingo Bay colorway, and it's 85% extra fine merino and the 15% nylon, and this is what she calls her Ridgy Didge base. So, and it came with this cute little green star gem progress keeper. So this is such a fun colorway. Oh, and it's very soft. Oh my goodness, really soft. So that was fun. And then she sent me, oh, there's little, I forgot this came with the yarn, the Harmonize yarn, a little couple Andes mints and some tea. So little treats. And then also from Harmonize Yarns, it's this cute little owl project bag. And this thing is heavy duty. It's just got this bright blue lining, and it is going to last a long time. And I'm like, I gotta work my muscles to get it closed, though. I'm gonna soften that up some. But this is the perfect size for socks or a small hat or whatever. So very cute, fun, bright owl print. So, all right, and then that's not all, folks. A few weeks ago, a month ago, something like that, I had commissioned my friend, who, she was a really good friend of mine when we were teenagers. As adults, we have lived our own lives, but we connect on Facebook and Instagram, and every now and then we actually see each other in person, like today. And I commissioned her. She does pottery, and her pottery business has really taken off in the last, I mean, just the summer, really, since she really started doing it. So I commissioned her to make me a yarn bowl with my logo on it. So today was unexpected. I was thinking maybe a little later this week it would happen. I know that she was going to be heading to town with my yarn bowl. So we met up today in town, and this is so there's my little swirl cutout for my yarn, and there's my logo. Haha. She did a really good job, you guys. So I will put her Instagram name on here, and you can go follow her on Instagram and order some lovely pottery from her. So, and this is not the only thing I got from her. I actually last fall had ordered a mug from her, and I was gonna go pick it up, and things happened, and we never were able to arrange it. And then she was going to ship it, and I guess she did, but I never got it. I think it might have actually been stolen off my front porch. So I was telling her that when we were discussing the bowl, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I am going to replace that mug." So she brought me this camping mug. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. And this is all her hand-drawn art. She's such a beautiful artist. She's got such a whimsical sense of everything. I mean, I know her mom and her sister are artists in their own way, and her mom makes one-of-a-kind art dolls, and they're amazing. And her sister used to make these art bears, but her sister has lots and lots of kiddos and is kind of busy to be doing that these days, I think. So, yeah. Isn't that awesome? I'm so excited to have my coffee in the morning. So, I think that is all my acquisitions. So, on to Podstars. I think we're going to have maybe a shorter episode today, mostly because I didn't get a lot of knitting done this week. But anyway, Podstars. I have not really been watching a whole lot of podcasts, but today and a little bit yesterday, I decided to search out a new podcast, a new to me podcast, not new. And what I found was the Hey Sister podcast. Now, if you have not watched Hey Sister, where have you been? Go watch it. They are so cute and so fun. I'm, as usual, I'm starting at episode 1. I think I've, as of today, worked up to about episode 6 or 7. And they are both fairly new knitters. The younger sister, trying to remember their names. Tabby is the older sister. She has the dark brown hair. Rachel is the younger sister, and she has the blonde hair. And but anyway, Rachel, the younger one, she's only been at this, when they started the podcast, had only been knitting for 2 months. And she just kind of dove in head first and started doing things, and she looks like a pretty good knitter. And her sister, Tabby, she's only been knitting 2 years when they started the podcast. Or a year and a half, something like that. Anyway, they just love it. And, I think if my younger sister were ever to take up knitting, she and I would be just like Tabby and Rachel. So, but they're just so much fun to watch, and you hear all these cute little babies in the background because they're mom to littles, at the start of their podcasting, they had 9-month-old, and I'm not sure what the little baby boy, how old he was, but he was, less than a year. So, yeah. So that was my pick of the week. I haven't watched much else, so there's not really much else to talk about. But yeah, Hey Sister, from the get-go, was a good podcast. They started out strong, and yeah, I like them. I will definitely be keeping up on them. And then, let's see, was there anything else that I watched this week? No, not really. And like I said, I have not been watching a whole lot of stuff, or at least if I have, I can't really remember. So, moving on to life stuff. With my shoulder issues that I was having this past week, I'm really amazed right now how quickly I have healed. I'm not 100%, but last week on Wednesday, I went to the doctor the day after I podcasted. The day I actually uploaded my podcast from last week was Wednesday. And I went to the doctor. I was in pain to the point of nearly being in tears constantly. And my doctor was talking like, you're going to definitely need physical therapy. There's a possibility it's a torn rotator cuff. You may need to have surgery at some point. Because it was that bad. So, let me show you something. Last week, this hand, which I'm holding up in the air at this point, was constantly, I'm going to kind of stand up a little bit. I was constantly like this, holding it like this, against my body for like 2.5, 3 days. And now, not only can I lift my hand up like this, I can lift my hand. See, look, there's my hand back there in the mirror. I can go like, I have full range of motion. I can put my own bra on. I don't have to have my husband help me. I'm like, I do feel a little bit of pain going like this. But this, I am so thankful, because I cannot afford for time off for a surgery or something for my job. I am the only sewer for our business. I know my boss can sew. She can make the products. But I have done 99.9% of the sewing for the last 2 years. She's not done anything as far as sewing goes. She does a lot of other stuff. But if I were to be out for medical reasons, I would be worried about our business. Because I feel very invested in my job. I love my job. I never want to give it up. That kind of invested in my job. So I'm very, very thankful that I have healed so quickly. And, so, like, there was that on Wednesday. My doctor I am on a few medications for this. I have an anti-inflammatory, a pain pill that I haven't really needed, but I take like a half a pill anyway every night just to be safe. And then I had muscle relaxer, which I only take at night as well. So it's like, it's amazing. I'm supposed to go back to my doctor tomorrow, and I'm going to be like, I'm not going to have surgery, and I'm not going to physical therapy. So I'm so happy. That's all I can say about that. I am so happy that I have healed so quickly. And being a person of faith, I do believe God had a hand in that. Take that as you will. On another note, on Friday, I had spent the whole day working on cutting some fabric for my project bags. I have a stack, like literally like this, really tall of pieces to make my bags, and I need to start sewing them so that they are ready for my trunk show at the Black Sheep Yarn Boutique at the end of September. But anyway, that's what I was working on all day on Friday. And about 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday, I got a phone call from my mother. And my dad had been down at my sister's house, his sister's house in Oregon, Portland area, and he'd been helping her. He had removed a tree that was causing the roof to rot, and then he was working on replacing the part of the roof that was rotten. Well, he fell through the roof, and he landed. He was working on a 70-foot cut with his skill saw, which, if you don't know what a skill saw is, it's a handheld rotary saw with a blade that retracts and covers the blade when you pull away from your cut. Well, something happened to wedge that cover open. The blade was running. My dad fell with his left arm on that ring blade. We thought we were losing my dad that day, and it was hard. Sorry, you guys, I'm gonna try not to cry here. So my mom called me and let me know what had happened. She was at home. My dad was down in Oregon. And we didn't know what was going to happen. So my sister and I were making arrangements to get ourselves down to Oregon. My mom had a friend drive her partway there, where, she drove to Olympia. The friend drove her to Olympia, where my brother met her, and my brother drove my mom down to our aunt's house. And Dad, for well over an hour, I was not sure if my dad was alive or dead. And that was an emotional roller coaster day. And what happened was, and again, I know not everybody has the same kind of faith that I have. A lot of people don't believe in God, and that's up to them. But the things I've seen this week only confirm to me that God is real and God heals. And if that offends you, I'm sorry, but everybody has their beliefs or disbeliefs, whatever you want to call it. But what happened with my dad was he had I'm going to demonstrate here. The cut started right about there, went down under his arm about to his elbow. It was 2 inches deep into his arm, and it's about 5.5 inches in length. And what happened is my cousin, who's 16 years old, was there helping my dad. Him and his mom had come back just less than half an hour before from a Home Depot run. And so my dad and my cousin were both on the roof, but my dad was on one side and my cousin was over on the other doing some cleanup or something. And this 16-year-old boy, who oddly enough has a little bit of medical training. He does, he helps crew a boat in the summertime occasionally. So he was there. He got my dad down off the roof. My dad was able to get down under his own power off the roof. And this is after looking at his arm, and pardon the goriness of this, but his blood was spurting out of his arm 2 to 3 feet. And he was 100% sure that he had cut an artery He said it was about the size of a pinky finger. He could see a vein. So, my cousin gets him off the roof, my dad is obviously holding his arm closed. My cousin puts his hand also on my dad's arm. And then there is a spot somewhere on the shoulder, the outside of the shoulder, where if you press down on that, you close off the artery that goes in your arm. And my cousin did that. And he knew that from the training he had for being on boats. And then he took my dad into the house, through to the garage, laid him down in the garage so that the EMTs had easy access to him, and stayed there. And the EMTs showed up to my aunt's house within 5 minutes. And they told Dad that he had not lost enough blood to die. Thank you, God. And then they took him to the hospital, and the doctors, basically what they did was they cleaned out the cut, cleaned him up, stapled him up. He has 22 staples in his arm. And he came home on Sunday afternoon. The doctors didn't see any arterial damage. So, there's no explanation for a pinky-sized vein, is what my dad saw, spurting blood feet away from his body. And he's alive, and he's well. And I am beyond thankful that he's still here, because I love my dad dearly. He's an amazing person, and I cannot imagine life without him. Although, Dad's one of those guys who's gonna drop in the harness, I guess what you would say. He's always on the go kind of guy. So, between my shoulder being insanely painful, between my dad's crazy medical emergency, not a lot of knitting happened this week. And then on Saturday, I had to drive and pick up my son from my older sister. So Friday, crazy emergency. Saturday, drive 8 hours to go get my kid. Oh, it was nuts. It was a nutso kind of week. And then I ended up with a screw in my tire on my way home from picking up my son. And I didn't really realize it until today. But I haven't really gone places since today, except a couple little jaunts out. So, took my car in today, got the screw situation taken care of, and now I'm home. And I'm like, what a week. So, I'm hoping next week is better. I'm hoping next week is less crazy and a lot more knitting. And I guess that's it. So, yeah, life is crazy. I am tired. And I managed to do this episode without show notes and not be too rambly, I think. So there you go. Alrighty. I have 100 things to do still today, so I'm going to go and get those things done. Hopefully get this edited and up tomorrow. Not that you will know the difference, but tomorrow. So, thank you. Oh my goodness. Well, here's what I should have said at the beginning. Thank you to all you returning viewers for being here. Thank you to anybody who's checking me out for the first time. I hope you were intrigued maybe by my... I don't know. I'm glad you're here. And again, if you subscribe to my channel, make sure you go and join my Ravelry group so you can be there when the 100 subscriber giveaway happens. And yeah, there you go. Anything else I need to say before I go? No. All right, you guys. Thanks for sticking with me, even without show notes. Have a good week. Please let it be better than mine. And I will see you soon. Happy knitting. Bye-bye. Hey, I am on my way to Yakima to pick up my teenager from my older sister, and I had to stop here to see this beautiful view. I'm just below White Pass, a couple miles below White Pass on the western side of the mountains. This is the Olympic Mountains, and that's Mount Rainier behind me. Such a beautiful view. Okay, bye.